Welcome to the live first reaction of Dr. Dre's Compton, music inspired by the movie Straight Outta Compton. My name is Rob Wallace.
And I'm Quinn Barrett.
Yeah, taking pictures and stuff. Okay. So let's just put this out there. We are not in the business of talking about superlatives too early.
No.
We wanted to make this video tonight as opposed to waiting for the podcast simply because it's going to give us an opportunity to give our initial reactions live and direct. So I don't know where to start. I guess a good place to start would be To Pimp a Butterfly.
Why?
And what To Pimp a Butterfly did was in 2015, it was a successful melding of a lot of different genres of music and included a very, very strong vibe of live instruments.
Okay.
Technically speaking, this album may be more of an accomplishment than To Pimp a Butterfly was. I think the vocal performances unto themselves will bear further analysis and discussion, but I was so enamored by the production, knowing what I know, that I'm floored. I listened to it one time all the way through.
Yep.
And I'm floored by it.
I've done two full runs, and what stands out to me is what I like about guys that from his era that are still making music is it's still a unique sound, but it's progressed to now. So like he didn't try to rely on the sound or try to recapture or anything. He actually took uniquely, like, it's still a Dre record, it's still a Dre record, but it's in the now. And that's a very difficult thing to do, because you catch yourself trying to chase a sound to be current, or you get yourself trying to chase yourself and going too far in the past, and you end up messing up because you'll never really be able to catch any of those sounds. You know what I'm saying? If it's not you and you're trying to chase something else, you look like a lame trying to spread yourself too thin. And if you're trying to chase yourself from when you had like all the hits, now you living in the past and you're not growing. So you have like this sound is so different than what's on the music landscape right now. That's another thing that struck me. It is actually a different sound, but it's still yet uniquely Dre. Like I don't think we could hear some of the, we would if we heard these records on another album, we'd be like that sounds familiar. Like, you know what I mean? We were like, wait a minute, like I recognize that chop. Like, let's think about it. Is that Dre? Like, but now that we know that it's him, we know that he is making his sound current, like for the now, and that's a very, very difficult thing to do.
Yeah, he kind of delved into some trap element, some different things that we kind of hear. You hear a lot of filters and stuff like that, but it's different.
It's different. It's harder.
It's what what I would say is it captures elements from so many different places.
Yeah.
Like it captures, there's like in the second joint, there's like a little acapella type, like, I mean, it has everything. I mean, the jazz elements involved in it, especially like on the last joint, are definitely relevant. It got some rock elements. It got like stadium rock elements in it. I want to see I want
It's
to
got the
see this
chunk. It's got the
done.
chunky beats from like East Coast too. It's got some of everything in it.
Yes, I want to see this. I want to see this. I don't think he's going on tour, but it would
No,
be interesting to see it.
I want to know like what package they're trying to push for promotion of the album, radio cuts, and that sort of thing to see what kind of sound that he's trying to push the album with because he could pick two or three of these songs and the album will go in a totally different direction.
He could, or the
Yeah,
perception of the album would go in a totally different direction to people who haven't heard the entire album.
yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
did come
Like
out and say, I think that the marketing and the packaging of the album is going to be completely different. One of the things that he said is he's donating all of the royalties of this album to build a community center in Compton.
is he? Are they pushing this album as a soundtrack or is it just an accompaniment to? Is it like American Gangster, an
I don't know
accompaniment to the
because
album? I mean
I
to the
heard the
film.
physicals. I heard the physicals aren't going to come out until a week after the show comes out. I mean, the movie comes out.
So it's not a soundtrack. It's like American Gangster.
Yes,
Yeah, that's okay. That's cool. That's
yes.
cool. But I'm wondering, like, I mean, there's some storylines in this album, like, man, yeah. And then Drake kind of spreading his wings a little bit, playing with different flows, and you hear the great Eminem on the end of the album, sounding like Beasley said, it sounded like old Sway and Tech Eminem, like dog, like where did they find him at?
Right, right. And I
I'm
mean,
I'm still stuck. I'm still stuck with some of the lyrics. Like they play with so many lyrical styles on this album. You know what I mean? Not to mention, I mean, I know that you're gonna focus strictly on the production out the gate, man. When you get around to finding the words to this album, right, I think you're gonna be pleasantly surprised, man.
oh, I plan on finding them for myself in the next couple days.
Yeah,
But
you.
I just can't. I can't stress enough. I've been really trying to walk away with some really big ideas, and one of them is the fact that this is going to be a polarizing musical experience for people.
I think so. And I think a lot of that is because, um, at our age now, we bring a lot more of ourselves to any other Dre record we ever have. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're not so much. I mean, we're kind of using this album to kind of see if Dre still got it, which is not necessarily a fair thing to do to Dre, but that's kind of what we're doing. Whereas there's some other people who are just kind of enjoying the moment with Dre,
Okay.
and that's so you're gonna get different analysis right off the bat. You know what I'm saying? But then there's some of us who like, we expect only excellence, man. Like I heard, you hear Primo's voice, like, yo, man, these things, everything on here got to be top notch because of the bar that he set for himself and everybody around him. And then we're hearing all the lore and all of the mystique that surrounded Detox, and then we get this album. It's got to be top notch. The expectations are so high, So after one or two listens, I'm already pleased. I'm like I love the album so far, but I'm gonna need like another 2 weeks,
Yeah. Yeah.
just to get into everything.
I'm just kind of trying to take another step back at the. I'm getting like people are hitting me up left and right talking about this album, dude.
The phones are ringing off the hook.
Yes, they are. People is like it's a 10. They
Slow
point
down.
out a particular song. Genesis. Okay, so like
Ooh,
the intro to me, how the intro came in
yeah.
was love. Was perfect in setting up how theatrical the
That's
album
what I
is.
was looking for. That's what we talking about before. That's exactly what I was looking for.
It's very theatrical. Talk about it to me, kind of, and I talk about cleansing the palate a lot. It's like it just lets you know that this is an album that is not going to be stuck in the framework of the music he was making
Right.
back during the Straight Outta Compton days.
Right.
It's modern on
Right.
every level. It's modern, and then Genocide was tough.
Oh no, bruh. Oh no.
From Kendrick's performance to
Uh,
the beat itself is just bananas.
I'm finding more about this guy, Pack.
But I told you.
Yeah. You
I
know,
told you. Listen, I'm
very
on my way. I'm on my way back. I'm on my way back from Philly today, and I was listening to a selection radio show, and I had seen the track listing, but not really paid a lot of attention to it. And I saw his name a couple times, and then on the selection show, they played one of his joints, and
mm,
I'm like, okay, I want to see, because the thing about Dre is like Belichick,
yeah.
like he's gonna take whatever you bring to the table and manipulate the game plan around what you can bring.
Okay.
And he's a singer, he's a soul singer, but he a little bit more edgy. You know what I'm saying? He talk a little bit more greasy than most singers or whatever.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's kind of like Bilal's lane.
Yeah, he's using some of the same vocal riffs as Bilal. That kind of Andre Crouch, or Stanley, not Stanley.
Yeah,
Yeah. That
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 kind of
kind of
crazy.
almost church.
So
But I liked it. It fits perfectly on this one, and
genocide was out of control.
completely.
It's All on Me was very good at just kind of letting people giving. I could see It's All on Me being a single.
And you know what I liked about It's All on Me was like he was very direct in that, like it's like, y'all look at it, this whole life, you look at this crazy life, but at the end of the day, like I got to take responsibility for everything. Like people don't talk about Dre like that during that time. Like we didn't start talking about Dre as kind of like the big brother until he was officially older and like almost out the game.
Right,
Like, you know what I'm saying? But I
right.
remember those articles, him talking about him kind of looking around and seeing all of that craziness. He talks about how one Suge came in, it just things just went wild, but he ended up taking responsibility for everything. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I
yeah,
like that was a real grown man moment right there. And I don't think that anybody else has a story quite as unique as Dr. Dre's, especially not on that tip. To have to take responsibility for death row.
yeah.
I mean, think about that.
And I think it's good that I like the fact that he didn't just simply make a compilation of he didn't just make a compilation of songs with artists. He really based the album around his experience,
Yeah,
his current experience. I mean, you had the different people who offer different flavors and stuff, but it was him and it was Compton, and Compton as a microcosm for life, for death, for American society, for Black people, all of that. So I was real glad that he did that. I was very glad that he did that, and not tried to make like but I never really thought he was gonna come out and try to make like a super duper gangster album. And I think that that's one of the reasons that he didn't put Detox out, because he couldn't
I,
really find the story to tell.
I think Dre gets courage from what To Pimp a Butterfly did.
Yeah,
For To Pimp a Butterfly to be a concept album in this market and to do as well as it did, I think that even if Dre may have been working on this beforehand or alongside, it's got to give him confidence. Like, you know what, I can actually go out and put out an album that is based around a certain idea because people have an ear to listen. You know what I'm saying? I get the right people, I get the right timing. The topic matter is going to be there, and I'm Dre. You know what I'm saying? As soon as I step out, there's going to be a line.
right.
So I think that it's perfect for right now. As we get ready to go into the second half of the year, considering all of the great music that we have got this year, Rod, I mean, it sets the table perfectly for the second half of the year.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
we're gonna have these discussions in like 3 months, and like, okay, now let's start talking wrap up.
Um, I just got TweetDeck up. Compton is, shall we say, trending.
Yeah, I would imagine so. I would
Maybe,
imagine so.
but I think, okay. So for years, music snobs have been kind of saying that an artist can't say certain things and expect to have some form of commercial success. But I look at, okay, you look at the Drake Meek Mill thing.
Yeah.
And it does kind of represent a transition because there would be a time where Drake would not be able to do what he's done and be popular.
Yeah.
Then you have J. Cole. J. Cole sold out Madison Square Garden,
Yeah, he did.
talking everyman regular stuff.
Just being straightforward.
Yes,
Not very,
yes.
yeah, you know, nothing. I mean, sophisticated in that he was able to convey these kind of general ideas in an interesting way. So that it takes some sophistication to be able to make it flavorful and make it interesting. But he's not performing any kind of verbal gymnastics, or like he's not really doing any. His lines don't really have that much texture where we have to, you know, do the knowledge or anything. You just kind of sit back and enjoy the music. And he sold out Madison Square.
Sold out Madison Square. I went back and I revisited the album today on the way back from Philly too, and
It's crazy.
it's a great
It's crazy.
album.
It's crazy.
It's a fantastic album.
It's
So, but
crazy.
Dre, um, the mixing, I just took a couple. The mixing is, um, I think people try to find. I think people in engineering and production try to find what he does
Oh yeah.
and make attempts at mimicking it. At one point, you know, his hi-hat seemed like they was louder than everybody's, or and but it's something that is, it goes back to trusting your ears. And it's obvious that he trusts his ears more than seeing what he sees on the screen and this, that, and the third. I'm telling you, in terms of using there's this terminology called using reference tracks in terms of engineering.
Okay.
And which means that you take, no matter what you're listening to music on, you can take an example of a song you want to ascend to, put it in the same settings, and hear what it will sound like,
Oh,
and then
okay.
be able to manipulate yours to sound that way, and hopefully you'll be able to match some things up. His ability to pan, like moving things around in the mix, and man, trust me. So there's that. His vocal production, his ability to spread things around vocally is fantastic.
Yeah, and
Fantastic.
there was a couple of songs that have a bit of a storyline, you know, element to it, and so you can hear the levels changing, and so you can follow the story in the song. So it comes to a climax, and you can hear that even on these you know, these weak computer speakers. I could still hear before I actually did a, you know, a play inside the headphones. I could even hear the levels even on my computer screen. I mean, on computer speakers. You
Yeah,
know, so whatever he's doing, it's coming through. Even the weakest of, you know, audio production is still coming through. The picture that he's trying to paint is still coming through. So I
right.
mean, so whatever engineering tools that he's using, they're top notch.
Yeah,
This music is built to play effectively, probably on any system.
yeah. He has real great control of what is considered the low end.
Mm,
You know, like the lower frequencies or whatever.
yeah,
He uses a lot of different a lot of different types of bass lines, but it's very controlled. It's very well controlled. It's not all over the place. But again, his vocal production, his ability to, I mean, the actual songwriting and the actual how the vocals are recorded and stuff is mind blowing, and it's different than whatever else we're hearing. Um, I'm going back to the track list. All in a day's work is very
oh my God.
motivational for a person like me that says, you know, you gonna have to work. You gonna have to work hard to get to where I am. You know, and that should be motivation for anybody that's doing anything.
That was a
Dark
great, that's
Side
a great
Gone,
song. Yep.
crazy. Loose Cannons, The Beach.
Oh my God. And then we get the great X to the Z.
Cole 187.
uh Yo, when
Um,
I looked down, I see exhibits now. I was like, oh, like I can't play it yet. I gotta wait till it get there. I was sitting there like, ooh.
issues was cool.
Yep.
Deep Water was
Man, Deep Water was
crazy.
sick, bro.
crazy. Great. One shot, one kill. Snoop was rapping like he was somebody else.
Yeah,
He was.
I wasn't expecting that from Snoop. And then just another day,
That was crazy. For the
man.
love of money,
John Connor's on that, repping Flint all through the verse,
repping the
repping
town,
Flint
baby.
all the way through the verse.
Yes, sir.
That's
Sa-
see, that's
Science
huge.
fiction was cool.
Yeah, I like that one. That was
Cool.
nice.
Animals was crazy.
Yeah,
Medicine Man
was
was. I love.
outstanding.
I love the chorus.
Outstanding. Yeah, kill yourself. Fucking kill yourself.
Talking to my diary, I felt like, especially the end of talking to my diary. I always look at what things sound like in the framework of the bigger context,
Yeah.
and really, according to what we've heard, talking to my diary is the last song on the last record that Dre will ever do.
Well,
So they have this really thick horn part, and
we'll see. Yeah. I don't believe it's his last album.
by the way, thanks the people who are watching us. I hope you didn't come here hoping to hear the album. We don't do that.
No,
You
no,
know,
we're not gonna do that.
we, we
You gotta get
you
out in the streets on your own.
you got to get out in the street.
You gotta get out in the
But
streets on your own.
um, nah, but I look at how do you. Okay, so I hate to look past this because there's so much to kind of unfurl with this. But I see the relationship very clear between this and Kendrick's album in
Yeah,
terms of the things that continue to pop up. And Dre didn't produce this whole record, just like he didn't produce the other record, but you could sense Dre's involvement from Into Pimp a Butterfly without even knowing any credits.
yeah, and I think that maybe these guys have been hanging out for a while. You know what I'm saying? These different crews, and I think they've been bouncing off a lot of music against each other for probably 4 or 5 years now. And
Um,
this sound, this kind of live instrumentation, soulful sound, the spin to the West Coast sound of hip hop is probably going to be something that we're going to hear for quite some time. Um, I think they may have established a new sound, and that I don't think we've had a chance to say that in hip hop in a long time.
yeah, Trap has been going about. We talked about that on the show. Trap has
Yeah, we
gone a
did.
good 12 years as being the most pseudo innovative movement recently. Oh, that
I,
and the 808s and Heartbreak stuff.
yeah, but everything is like everything else is always a throwback. It's a throwback. I think this you got hardcore drum. They got drums, live instrumentation. I mean, this sophisticated lyrical delivery, and then with live horns and everything is chord driven. Then these guitar solos, like these are masterpieces.
What did you think about the joint with Primo?
I loved it, and you know what I liked about it? It was because it's like an announcement. Like Primo comes on and starts talking on a record, which it does not happen very often. But it was just like, yeah, this is what it is. Like that. All right, that's a wrap. We good with that over there. Now this is what we doing. And will the rest of the game listen? I don't know, but that's what I got from that. Like for him to get on the mic and say, yeah, like okay, it's me and Dre. We're gonna take this into the new chapter. Y'all don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Y'all too scared to say it. We ain't scared of nobody. We do what we want to do. That's what I
So
got from that. That's the energy that I got from that part. The part of that
so
song.
how do you be Chevy Woods from the Taylor Gang and release your album tomorrow?
You gotta serve the base.
Chevy
You
Woods
got.
got an album coming out
I
tomorrow.
know you gotta serve the base. You don't belong over here. So you gotta go give your album to who's waiting on you. You can't be scared to put your music out, man.
I agree.
You can't be scared to put your music out. Not in this market. You're gonna eat, man. You're gonna eat. You're gonna still sell. Sell. Do your little numbers. You may not necessarily. They might get around to talking to you later because we got to deal with this right now. But that don't mean you didn't do quality work. I mean, for what you doing.
This is a different tier.
This is a different tier.
It's
You
a
may not
different.
belong with
It's like a different level of universal appeal. Like,
it. Yeah.
did the crime? I hate to put it on this. This is not the end all be all, but did the Chronic win a Grammy? Did 2001 win a Grammy?
I don't think so. But that's not the point. That's
I
not.
know
That's
it's
a
not the point. I know it's not the point, but it is a measure of universal appeal, right?
no. Not necessarily for rap records.
Not for rap records. Okay.
For rap records, we have to judge hip hop records on a different. Grammy does not necessarily mean universal appeal. There's a lot of songs, a lot of hip hop songs that are just as universal as any pop song that will never get any recognition by any awards academy. So that's not necessarily a fair barometer. I will say this because Dr. Dre and his brand is so universal at this point and has 20, 25 years of legitimate universal appeal, there will be millions that will consume this album straight off GP. It's like the Snoop album. People just go, it's Snoop, right? We buy Snoop's music, no matter what he does.
Yeah.
And so Dre is going to experience some success flat, just based off that. Just so happens, it happens to be extremely high quality music to boot.
Yeah.
It's extremely high quality music.
That's the only way it can really be labeled.
Yeah.
It's very potent. Like,
this is extremely well done, high quality, high level of skill. Like I'm now I got to go back and listen to all the verses one to one.
Yeah.
See if anybody mailed it in.
And then think about the variety. The variety of Jill Scott, The Game, Marsha Ambrosius, Eminem, Kendrick, Exhibit, Code 187. This King Mez. King Mez is the hitman of this album. You know who Hitman was, right?
Yeah.
And
I don't say this often, but the game got loose.
The game went off. But Belichick, he pulls that out of you. Any good leader pulls the best out of the people that they work with. Any good leader
into a Super Bowl.
Eminem. Where's Eminem? I didn't even listen to Marshall Mathers LP 2. I didn't even listen as much music as I listened to. I didn't even listen to it.
No, there was no reason for that.
Recovery was cool. Relapse was cool too. It had its cool moments.
Yeah.
I didn't even listen to Marshall Mathers LP 2.
I was excited.
Loud.
I was excited to hear his verse on this album, and he killed it.
Yes.
Like angry Eminem is good for all music.
Yeah.
Irritated, ornery Eminem is good for the entire music landscape. Forget hip hop. It's good for everybody. Wow.
I'm curious
I'm
about
I'm gonna be listening to this album a lot for the next couple weeks.
I don't even know what I like. I've only heard it once, but it all kind of melded together as one. I was telling Michelle, it's like a tapestry.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this elaborate tapestry of sound that is hip hop at its base, but it has so many different colors and so many different textures in it. It's beautiful.
And once we get all the album notes, we get a chance to see who was doing what. That's another trip down, up the mountain for us. Because I want to know who did this, who did that. I wonder though, like, I wonder how much of this was how they recorded it. How much was studio? How much was mailed in?
That's a good question.
I want to know about that. I
So
would like to think that they did it.
Our subsequent listens to this album will frame our next Pick and Roll podcast episode, which
Yes.
will probably be out maybe the beginning of next week.
Good.
We definitely will have to do one after seeing Straight Outta Compton. And you can visit us at pickandrollpodcast.com. You can also follow us at PAR Podcast on Twitter. Pickandrollpodcast.com got our first 31 episodes of the show. We talk about hip hop. We talk about basketball. We talk about sports. We talk about life. We talk about a lot of stuff. You can check us on SoundCloud. You can check us on iTunes, all that good stuff. So,
did y'all watch the debate? Did you watch any of the debate?
I don't even want to talk about it. It was like rap. It was like rap music. It was like Drake versus nah. It was like rap music.
It was like a Love and Hip Hop reunion show.
It was. It was.
Oh shit. The BET and Uncut is coming back.
Is it? BET Uncut is like YouTube. It's World Star.
Sign off. Sign off, Rod.
I'm not watching it.
All right, sign off. I am Quentin Barrett.
And I'm Rod Wallace, and this is the Pick and Roll. Oops, that's your part. I'm Rod Wallace.
And I'm Quentin Barrett.
And you're watching
the Pick and Roll.
Peace.